medical pot. In most cases, the marijuana itself is exactly the same. A study commissioned by the state found that in some ski towns, tourists were buying 90% of the recreational marijuana sold. In part because users aren't switching, the state's tax collections are below predictions. And some home growers are exempt from the state's tax system. Ooh, excellent. Home growers are exempt from the state tax system. There you go, America. Don't tell me this unemployment rate anymore. Don't tell me you're all starving and you're slaving away for 16 hours a day at Burger King for $8 an hour. You trust Uncle Crash. You just go get yourself some seeds. If you need somebody to hook you up, email producer at HTLA Radio 1. I'll hook you up. A state study said the gray market of home growing is a factor in dragging down tax collections since illegal transactions remained untaxed. Ooh, yes, those are illegal transactions now. You see how they did that? You see what they did there? Yeah, yeah, right. Well, legalization advocates say there are always bound to be growing pains, but they point out the irony that some Colorado policymakers are peeved the state collected less marijuana tax than expected. This is an industry, after all, that operated totally illegally just over a year ago. There are hundreds of millions worth of marijuana sales now taking place in licensed tax-paying businesses instead of on the underground markets, said Mason. T-Vert of the Marijuana Policy Project, which backed Colorado's legalization efforts. The tax revenue is a bonus, but our overall goal was to eliminate the underground market. Well, sir, I don't know how you could possibly ever eliminate the underground market because, A, it's the underground market. B, there's always going to be a demand, and I would submit further that these little medical marijuana places that crop up, these little boutique places that try to be like the Starbucks of weed. Of course, I'm making reference to a recent Morgan Spurlock documentary specifically about this issue, the medical marijuana, how you get it, how you go through getting it, what kind of stock they carry, and all this stuff. And you look at the place, well, all the places actually, they've got security and doormen that look like they're, mafioso Joes. And, yeah, it's almost funny because, of course, these doormen and these muscle for these places are so stereotypical television mobster muscle, it's not even funny. And, you'd think once they've legalized it, they would try to, get rid of some stigmas and stereotypes surrounding it, now that it's not that misunderstood taboo anymore. But what do I know? What do I know? So there it is. That's the tax model at work there. And it's a good story in the sense that, of course, these tax dollars are going to help build schools. It's very sad that some sick little political shyster has gotten in there and has stated that a high school magically cost $100 million now. That's a little stunning. I have to wonder how many pounds a day of weed he's sucking back. Because you'd have to say that, and you'd have to believe that, quite frankly. It's a school. It's not a nuclear missile facility. Come on. Well, that's the opening ender for the opening segment here on Crash Talk. But have no fear. Oh, no, I got lots on this for you. When we come back, we're going to talk about Canadian pot use and that 4 times the global rate. The global. Damn it, Scotty. Global, I said. Back in 2.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions? Abundant with rich, fertile soil. What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness? Then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it. Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
The hot new accessory? Brows that wow. New from Maybelline, New York, it's Brow Drama, our first sculpting ball brush with tinted gel. Just sweep, then sculpt for bolder, sculpted brows. New Brow Drama. Get the look at Maybelline.com. Maybe it's Maybelline.
In this fast-paced, digital everything life, there's nothing like experiencing the world's finest journalism in its original form. So sign up today for as little as $3.80 a week to receive the greatest newspaper in the world and all the incredible experiences that come with it.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was
beautiful.
A broom closet.
But the
worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Hey, Sonny, it's the heat. We got to get out of here, man.
Oh, yes. The big drug bust is on here at Crash Talk tonight. So, yeah, you are listening to HTLA at Radio 1 New York, 9:24 in the p.m. on Tuesday, the 17th of February, 2015. 26 degrees now, Central Park. Clear skies. It's not bad. Yeah, we could live with that. And if we sparked up a doobie, we could live a whole lot better. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, tonight on the big show, of course, we're giving you the lowdown, the goods, as it were, on, legal marijuana, for God's sake. Give those boys at Miami Vice a little less work, huh? How about it? So we're talking about marijuana on the old show, and, me being me, I figured, hey, we can probably help these guys out with this. I'm from Canada, man. We've got this pot thing down. Yes, we do. We knows what we doing. and certainly when it comes to, the good stuff, we got that down. We know what we're doing. So you just listen to Uncle Crash. He'll fix you up, baby. And, of course, I have to mention that tonight's show is brought to you by Tim Hortons New York City, now with 8 fine locations in the city to serve your coffee and baked good needs. And trust me, after a couple of hits of the old 420 here, you'll be wanting some donuts pretty damn quick. So, look to Tim Hortons to fix you up, baby. That's right. So before the break there, we talked about, some of the plus sides of the legalization and the approved legalization for medical use. And, of course, I was also talking about Morgan Spurlock's documentary there that he did about these medical marijuana distribution stores, I guess you could call them, that really look like Starbucks for weed. And when I'm talking Starbucks for weed, I'm not just talking that, they've got the nice, what do you call them, the hardwood floors and the nice plants and all that good stuff. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just not. What I am talking about is that whole, I don't know, West Coast nouveau riche kind of, I don't know, I was actually kind of looking around for maybe a Nagel print on the wall somewhere. It was very, and I guess if you don't know who Nagel is, well, you won't understand what I'm talking about. But suffice it to say, it's just like Starbucks for pot. Yeah. And you can get, it's not like, you go see a guy about a guy and you pass some money and you get a little green baggie and out the door you go, man. It's not like that. No, they have retail sales counters, much like a jeweler, with all of their wares under glass. And they have these wide ranges of varieties of exotic-sounding different kinds of things, including, I must add, flavors like chocolate and vanilla, hence Starbucks. Flavors like chocolate and vanilla, various names that they've come up with that it's like they're trying to be the cool kids. Back when I was in school, there were some kids who took a tin of tobacco and they added a bunch of green food coloring and they mixed it all up and then dried it all out and put it in little baggies and were selling it to the other kids at my school for like $5 and stuff. And ooh, that was the big thing. No, these guys are putting it like it's almost like even less than Starbucks. It's almost more like a health food store. They've got special little displays set up for certain flavors of the month and all this kind of crap. And no end, of course, they have these pamphlet walls that, they're just walls of pamphlets that, they're government pamphlets or they're pamphlets from the actual outlet themselves talking about, things like responsible use and all this other kind of BS. Yeah. And, of course, on the medical marijuana side, they do have, you have a quota. You can only get so much per month on your card, as it were. So, you're restricted there. And there's quite a few other restrictions, too. Now, states that just say to hell with it and legalize it, like Washington State and California, you're not restricted to that. You can grow your own in most states that have already legalized this, and that's why I say, you need some seeds, let me know. Uncle Crash will hook you up. But seriously, it's just a situation of, if you were living a lifestyle where you may need this, I've heard a lot of tall stories around reasons that people need the medical stuff. And I'm sure there's no shortage of doctors out there that have heard all those stories too. Well, I can't sleep and I'm depressed and I have nightmares and I get headaches and yet, duh, so does everybody. Next window, take a number or something. Get out of my face. But these are the reasons, if you will, that medical marijuana gets prescribed in this country. So you have to ask yourself. You do. You have to ask yourself the question. Is it a predisposition that you have to be whiny in order to get medical marijuana prescriptions? Because really, those kind of things, I'm sorry. It's all great for the migraine headache sufferers. There's been countless studies, actually, about marijuana constricting blood vessels in and around the brain and head. And of course, migraine sufferers wouldn't want that now, would they? No. No, drugs like Imitrex will serve you far better to kick the living crap out of that migraine headache.